What's up everyone, Lethal Concept here, and today we're gonna formulate a weapons tier list since none have been out yet and no one's done a survey to actually conduct it. So I've used pretty much all of the weapons on gold, most of them pretty much, and we're also gonna try and fit in a weapon for each build that I am going to make. So I want to I don't want to everything to just use like Yushia or the Dan or the Cyclone or something like that. I want to try and make it so every character has something different that they can use. So I'm gonna have a word, and we're gonna do the first one, the human soldier. So I don't intend to change my soldiers' weapons that I use on the soldier. I use the Raptor, and I think I also use the Yushia. Yes, I do use the Yusha. Secondaries obviously don't count for weapons. So here we're gonna actually just quickly have a look. The Valkyrie I actually did not like. She felt very weak to me. So, well, okay, we won't save it for now. We'll say we'll just put it in 4 tiers: A, B, C, and D. Valkyrie was alright, but not horrible. I mean, it was okay. So what B means is above average, C is below average, and obviously you can pretty much judge what A and B means. Let me just save this actually then. Let me just save it here. Weapon tier list with weapons for build. There we go. And actually, the particle assault weapon I feel is only above average. However, it moves to A when paired with disruptor. So actually, yes, we'll start with assault weapons. Valkyrie I feel is only C. It can actually moves to B when turbocharge is active. It's not good by itself. I feel like it's only good with turbocharge. Same thing with Sound. I actually feel Sound it doesn't feel like it does a lot of punch per bullet, but when you up it with turbocharge, it's actually pretty good. Halberd is actually, I hate Halberd. Halberd I did not have a good time. Let's actually just make it easier to see here. You guys should be able to see that. Falcon's actually really good. I actually really like the Falcon. Pretty solid weapon. Avenger, I'm not even gonna rate those. Those are pretty crappy. Revenant is also, it's actually in the middle of B and C. It's like average. If there was like an B to C average, this is where the Revenant would be. And it actually, sorry, and it obviously jumps up to, moves to B when turbocharged. So a lot of weapons, and these are really the fast firing weapons, the weapons that can really take advantage of turbocharger's fire rate and dump heat and damage. They really move up a notch when you pair them with turbocharge. Sandstorm I did not like. I do not like Sandstorm. Sweeper. Oh, this is crap. Did not like Sweeper. Sweeper's like a worse, sorry, Sandstorm, wasn't it? I think it was Sandstorm that was tested in the last videos. Thunken's actually, it's, I'd say it's below average. And the only reason it's below average is because projectiles feel a bit too slow, and they don't feel slow. You may not think they feel slow, but it feels slow. You feel like going up against something like Outlaws, where the sharpshooters and raiders move fairly fast, left and right, and so aiming with Thunken is actually hurts its viability. Also, very low magazine clip for its fire rate. The Ghost Eye. Alright, so a lot of people say the Ghost is really good. It's not. I don't feel the Ghost is very good, to be honest. I'd say it's Ghost X5 is here. Moves moves to average when turbo charge is active. I really don't think the ghost is that great, guys. Cyclone. First weapon. Wait, why is that ball? Oh, that's right, because I moved up. First weapon that I think is very good by itself. Maddock is down here. Cyclone's actually very good by itself. Zalkin. Oh, I think it was the Zalkin that's actually... Yes, Zalkin is a better sleeper, better sandstorm. I actually like the Zalkin. It needs a little bit more to actually push it up to above average, but in its range, it's actually average, is what I think. Should I put like a symbol, like AR? And do that. Should I actually do that, eh? Maybe I should do that. Whoops. Alright, going from top of the list. Eagle, I still didn't like, but I think you could make it work with turbocharge. The thing is, I just don't think it's a weapon that you would use with turbocharge regardless. So I'm actually going to put the... I know some people like the Eagle, so I'll put it here, but I personally don't like it. Hurricane is honestly one of the best weapons in this game, but it's only above average for me. And the reason it's moves to A tier when paired with Disruptor and ammo capacity upgrades. Like, for its fire rate, that max armor is not gonna serve you very far. But it's very good, don't get me wrong, it's very good. But the Cyclone has so much ammo, does a really good amount of damage. Like, if you see the Cyclone, it has over, what, almost 300 ammo? 313 ammo. And that's with 50 clip. That's a lot. That's a lot. You're going to be running through that. But people will probably say that it's already really good. But I'm going to just put it above average for now. Because to make it shine, you don't use the Hurricane for damage. You use the Hurricane because it primes very fast. And it still does a very decent amount of damage. Roserade, I actually feel is above average. The Yusha is just, by itself, it's just incredibly strong. The Charger S, it's, sorry, it's actually average. Actually, I'd actually consider it below average. And it's one of the weapons that it's one of the weapons that you can actually get away using at rank 10 when you're just starting your gold runs and you need a weapon and you don't have any other decent weapons. It's one of those weapons, but the thing is, you use it because it's very good priming as well. It still has quite a fast fire rate for priming, so that's the reason why I feel it warrants a mention. Poor man's Hurricane moves to average when paired with Disruptor. So a lot of these weapons are used because they're good with certain equipment. Equalizer is, for me, above average. And if you're wondering why I don't put it in, sorry, excuse me, A tier, is because the Equalizer requires really precise aiming. And it just requires really precise aiming, whereas the Hurricane, you don't need to aim as precise. Most of the bullets will still hit, even if the target moves slightly left or right. If the target moves slightly left or right for the Equalizer, you will miss. The Hornet, I feel, is just really strong with the increase in damage and its fire rate. Not going to bother that one. Scorpion. Now, a lot of people say, well, a lot of people will not agree with my choice, but I actually feel like the Scorpion is A tier. Why? It has a lot of good things going for it. So because the Scorpion, alright, let me just equip it for a second and show you guys. Like, so these are the mods, right? You don't need scope with a Scorpion. You don't need melee optimizer. So you got barrel and magazine. Now, let me just really do quickly equip this here. And my soldier has nothing equipped. I mean, nothing, no bonuses basically. So you have 7 ammos, 7 by 700. That's 4,900. And this is a weapon that you can aim. Wait, is my math wrong? I'm just gonna quickly grab a calculator. Yeah, okay, 4,000. So yeah, this is a weapon that you don't have to aim out of cover, so you can reliably hit things while in cover. It was a fairly like, this is a Vanquisher level shot. If I quickly go to a Vanquisher, this is Vanquisher level damage, like 720, right? It's plus 30, but it's still pretty much near Vanquisher level damage. Like, 20 less or something, 30 less. It's still Vanquisher level damage. You got 7 clip size, and it actually sticks onto the target, and you don't have to aim it while out of cover. You don't have to aim down sights, is what I mean. So it has a lot of good things. The only thing is, its damage is delayed, yes, but it also deals damage in the AoE. So I think there's just no downside to using a Scorpion for me, unless you want damage right then, right there, as you hit it. Now, Sidewinder has fallen out of favor for a couple of reasons. Yushi's way more damage. It's still a decent weapon, but it's now outshined because other weapons can deal what it does better. For me, it's about average. The Talon is one of the best pistols. The only bad side is it only has 4 ammo, but I think it still deserves A+. I mean, it's an A. It's A, pretty much. Not gonna bother that, I'm not gonna bother. These bottom weapons I'm not gonna bother with because they're just really not worth using when you have other options available. Now for sniper rifles, wait, I'm just gonna weld there. Black Widow is still outshined by something like the Valiant and the Vanquisher. So unfortunately, it's usable, don't get me wrong, it's usable, but you still would probably want to use Vanquisher or Valiant, or the Inferno even. So basically, Black Widow is outshined by the other sniper rifles that have more capacity. The Widow is outshined by Ishirei, that's just it. So for me, they're... Excuse me, maybe I should put another space in between. For me, they're just below average, to be honest. Or they're below average, yes. Inferno's actually... It doesn't deal a lot of damage, which is why I'm hesitant to put it in A tier. Also because it's ultra rare, so you're gonna have a hard time matching it. Valiant is pretty darn good. I wouldn't put it in A tier though. Naladine, now I've played around with this, and it works as both a kind of close range shotgun where you don't have to aim it since it's AoE, and it's actually pretty decent, to be honest. The damage is not bad. The fire rate is something to be left desired though. So I actually feel it's somewhere in between above average and average, but I'm gonna put it here because the fire rate is a little bit slow. I actually do like the Ishirei, but with the recent changes to shield gate, it's about average. It still works for like something if you want to pull off a one-shot build. The Lanat, it's okay, but I didn't like it. Indra's actually really good for a weapon. Excuse me. Indra, the shadows, just really good. Vanquisher, I'm actually going to put it in A, and the reason I'm doing this is it has the perfect balance of damage, rate of fire, clip, ammo, accuracy. It just has all these stats are probably the most well-rounded stats of a sniper rifle they can actually get. So it does have 1 less clip size than the Valiant, yes, but Valiant has 588, while the Vanquish has like 700. It's like the most well-rounded sniper rifle. It's not something like it does such so much damage like the Ishray per shot, but it's really well rounded, and I think that makes it a very deserving spot on A. You can pretty much slap it on any class and it'll still do good. The Viper is pretty much a hand-me-down vanquisher, but I'd still think it's pretty good. Now, the Viper S, it's somewhere around here. It's either the average or below average. I am gonna put it at below average just because I have the Charger X here. Now, obviously, some of you guys, excuse me, may disagree with my choices. That is fine. Incisor, I feel, is over here. Raptor. Now, Raptor is actually... So, I feel the Raptor is above average, but it actually moves to A when paired. Because it's one of the fastest firing weapons, and especially when you have turbocharge active. Actually, how is the Raptor's fire rate versus the Indra? So it's 550. It's still faster than Indra, but the Indra can also work as well, so we're gonna have to put that there as well. The Raptor's the main quote-unquote assault rifle that I use for my human soldier. That is because it's very good with disruptor ammo, and with the soldier you have 5 concussive shots, which works really well as detonators as well. The Widow is just a hand-me-down Ishray. You just wouldn't... that's actually... yeah, it's 1000... it's just a... Ishray is just better than the Widow. Of course, if you don't have the Ishray, you can use a Widow. Can I, like, make this smaller? Will this actually make it hard to see on the screen? Probably. Maybe we can get rid of that and just have it all on one page. Maybe. Whoops. Hand me down. Ishray. Where's the Black Widow? Hand me down. Or it's just... there we go. And we got shotguns. The Dawn is super good. Crusader. Now, I'm actually going to put Crusader in the A category, and some of you guys might be going, well, why are you doing that? The Dawn is obviously way better Crusader. Well, this is the reason why, and I've said it in a couple of my videos. Crusader has 1 more ammo, meaning if you're going up against groups of enemies that are 3 or more, you can, and they have all taken damage to the point where you only need like maybe 700 damage or 500 damage to kill them. Your Dawn will only kill 3 because it only has 3 clips, whereas the Crusader will kill 4, so it's an extra 1. Also means that you're less penalized for missing shots, because if you miss 1 or 2 with a Dawn, that means you only got 1 or 2 shots. If you miss 1 or 2, you still have 2 to 3 shots with the Crusader, so it's very good for all-rounder builds. Also, the Crusader allows you to go barrel and spare clip, so spare clip makes it so you don't need to pick up thermal clip storage or the new equipment that was added. What's it called? Armored compartments that gives you max capacity and allows you to free up your equipment slot. And also, it's the only shotgun that can reliably hit stuff at long range, so I feel it deserves up here. Piranha is very good, but only at close range. So it's actually, I'd say it's between above average and average. Hesh, I actually feel I feel Hesh is a better Piranha, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, I prefer the Hesh over the Piranha. Couple of things. Hesh does about the same amount of 398, 400, it's about 100 less. But you got 2 more ammo, and the fire rate's about the same. But the big thing is, the weight is just so much better. Also because Piranha's ultra rare, so you're not going to be maxing it out as much. So I would actually consider putting Hesh in A, it's honestly really that good. Why did you change? I don't need to change. There you go. Hesh. I'm not gonna bother about. Rig is actually good. Like, it's actually good. But because of the frame rate issues, I'm not gonna put it up here so you guys aren't incentivized either. Scattershot is actually above average for me. It just works real well for builds that are power based, that allows you to get in close. Like Vanguard builds, it's a very good weapon for those. Niche weapon. Niche weapon, outs. So there are a couple cool niche builds you can do with Venom. One of them is an indirect build that I played around with. So it basically tours around with Soldier, because you can actually with sorry, with a Soldier with frag grenades, you can actually bounce them off walls, and the same thing, you can bounce Venom grenades off walls, and pair it up with Scorpion, which can do indirect damage. So you can do a lot of indirect damage. It's a fun build. But it still didn't impress me. It's okay, but for me, this Venom shotgun is actually below average. Starple's actually pretty good, to be honest. Its base is actually not that bad. The Ruzad, I'm not going to put on because I think in every way, shape and form, the Ruzad is a worse darn. Except where you get those bonuses that will boost you enough to one-shot red health enemies. That's the only area it performs better than the Darn in. Because the Darn has less damage per shot, it's easier to reach the damage numbers required to one-shot per shot red health enemies. That's the only thing the reason that's going for it. But yes, that's the only kind of thing that the Dun has gone for it. Now, some of you guys may disagree, that's fine. This is just my view on these. So, yeah. If you're only here for the, sorry, the kind of weapon tiers, this is it. You can pause the video anytime. These are just my thoughts, really. Just gonna quickly, well, not quickly, but just scroll down here. Okay. So now for me, this is going to be the second part of the video. I'm just going to go through and just start trying to match weapons and try not to use the weapons a lot. So like a lot of builds will probably see using stuff like the Darn or the Yusha. I'm going to try and make it so the primary weapon is different for each class. It's not going to be possible for all the classes, but you know, going to try it. So for the Soldier, the primary will be, obviously for me, Raptor, the Raptor, and the secondary is Yusha. Well, we're not going to worry about secondaries, we can worry about secondaries later. Vanguard is the Scatter Shot. Sentinel, now there's a couple weapon paths for the Sentinel. Poor Hurricane, currently using the Yusha and the Hurricane combination. And the reason I'm doing that is because the Sentinel has double detonators, so it's very good for weapons that can prime. And because the barricade means you can really get up close and stay safe while close, since the electric barricade stops enemies from jumping. I'll actually go through all the playstyles. Start with Sentinel. So yes, 2 playstyles with the Sentinel. Let me click on you. Okay, there we go. Yes, Yusha Hurricane. So this might be a long video because of this, but yeah, double detonators mean that you can actually have a fast prime weapon and detonate with those two, or you can go energy into throw for long range detonation if you don't have a long range option like you're using the Hurricane, which is good as well. Barricade allows you to stop anything charging at you, and you can detonate off that with throw and energy drain. And because you've got tech armor and energy drain proccing the shields for you, you can actually get up close and use a very strong weapon like the Yusha, which is what I did. So I deal a lot of damage at close range. So poor Hurricane Yusha is my opted choice. For the Soldier, I'm going for a very combat explosion heavy build. that has a heavy emphasis on damage per shot. So the Raptor is very good because it just synergizes so well with Turbocharge. It does so 2 clips of a disruptor amped up Raptor assault rifle will 2 clips of that will kill a Berserker on gold, basically. And the way it's set up is that when you empty a clip of your Raptor, the target is primed for a concussive shot. It just synergizes. It's a good flow, basically. And you got 5 of these, so you got 5 detonations. It's very strong for taking down single targets, and you got grenades for AoE targets. For me, I just standard Vanguard build scattershot, so you don't have to recharge your ammo because, excuse me, because your powers is just cooldown based and you don't have any power cells abilities. Excuse me while I'll take a drink, guys. Just give me a second. For my human engineer, I've tried. Oh well, first of all, I tried a lot of different things with the engineer. Tried Inferno. Actually liking the Inferno. So there's 2 ways to play the engineer, and I'm currently spec for one of these, and that is Assault Omnilink with Overload spam. And Overload is mate for jumping targets to apply all your debuffs, elemental tech sabotage. You can opt to swipe out the Inferno for a shadow, or if you want. So basically, having that much overload spam, applying that much debuffs gives you a lot of opportunities to apply headshots. So I have a sniper rifle, and I want something that doesn't require me to go up to ammo crates because, again, all your powers are cooldown based. So I opted to. I'm trying out the Inferno sniper rifle. It's pretty good. It's not bad. It's good. The other one is obviously the snap freeze build, where you obviously put points in the cryo beam, have a cryo ammo weapon, and you snap freeze the crap out of everything. That's just, those are 2 build playstyles. I'm using the Inferno Shadow for the overload spam based build. So obviously 2 playstyles for that, and yeah, 2 playstyles for the Sentinel, the weapon based priming, and obviously the detonation and using your weapon to finish your characters off. But I just prefer the overload spamming because snap freeze I just don't like off host, and I'm Australian, so yeah, crappy net. Yeah. Infiltrator, I still like, you can just make most of the decent sniper rifles work. I still use a Vanquisher, honestly. Vanquisher, it's still really well balanced. Now, Turin Soldier, my Turin Soldier is actually spec to be just like a powerhouse juggernaut. So basically, heavy fortify. I move, so I don't pick up that. I kill anything that comes close, so I don't need explosive purge. This is just for gun stability and accuracy, since I don't pick up accuracy and stability and pick up damage and force, so I do more damage. Got a couple of frags because I didn't pick up rank 6 and fortify. So it's just it's the most weapon heavy platform based build that I have. So for this I'll probably go with, well, those are common, so let's put a space there. So what would I use? Probably the Cyclones are not bad. So I'll probably use a Cyclone for close to medium range, and for the long range I'm actually thinking of using the Incisor. It's actually really good. Okay, so this is actually what I'm thinking. If you're using a ammo consumable, you want Indra. Wait, I'm pretty sure it's the Indra, yeah. Because Indra has a lot more rounds, fires more consistently. Incisor's 3-shot, so you don't prime as fast, but the Indra allows you to prime targets at long range as well. But if you don't run with Incisor, oh, this is long range basically. If no ammo consumable, Indra, if using ammo consumable. Krogan. Vanguard. So if you didn't know, the reason why I like to use no clip, so like energy-based weapons that don't require to reload. The reason I do that for Vanguard classes is because if your weapon is empty and you charge and you try to melee, what you may notice is that your melee may not go off because the character is attempting to reload. The game just tries to make you reload. What actually weapon do I have? I have the Hesh. Oh yeah, I use the Hesh because it has a lot of rounds. Actually, Disciple's not bad as well. Disciple, I would actually probably use the Disciple. Now, Hesh is better. I just have a better character that I would use the Hesh for. And I don't think I would use the Disciple for anything else, which is why I have it here for now. Was actually really impressed with the base Disciple with no munitions training, no apex training, no weapon bonuses, just base Disciple on the human admin. Impressed me. Krogan Engineer. Actually, I will use the Hurricane here for my specific stagger playstyle. A lot of people just use this as a kind of combo, so for shielded enemies, overload and incinerate for the detonation. For armored targets, incinerate into overload for the detonation. I think that's wasteful for me. So what I actually do is, Krogan Engineer still has some debuffs. Let me just click you. So yes, Krogan Engineer still has one line for debuff. Elemental Tech. So you equip an ammo booster, disruptor ammo, mainly. And what you do is you overload them to apply that elemental tech, and then you start pelting them with Hurricane with Disruptor. And because you've made them take elemental tech debuff, your Hurricane deals a lot more damage. And if they're still alive, then you incinerate for the detonation. And what this does is, for most targets besides berserkers and boss mobs, this makes them be vulnerable and not hit you for the entire duration, because overload staggers them overload does a stun animation, so they're stunned, and then incinerate does the fire stagger. So you don't want to overlap those two staggers, because, well, you're just wasting CC time. What you can do is you overload, start pelting them with Hurricane. By that time their shields are mostly gone, or they're dead by then, so you don't need to use Incinerate to actually detonate them, unless you just want to detonate it for the hell of it, for points, for tech field, whatever. But if it's for an arbor target, you'd probably think use Incinerate first. Nah, I would use Overload first, because I prefer the the electric tech field rather than the fire explosion, because obviously it stuns other targets that walk through it as well. So yeah, overload, and then you pelt them with Hurricane. The armored target probably won't die, but they're still primed because you're using a Hurricane with Disruptor ammo. And then you can detonate with Incinerate, and if they're things like, not Pariahs anymore because they got changed to shields and health, but if they're things for like Agents, or what's some of the other ones, Agents, Anarchists, they're going to go through those two separate animations, and they're not going to hit you back for that entire duration, because you didn't overlap the staggers. You stunned them, they're stunned, they're maybe down to a half health with your Hurricane fire, then you incinerate, and then you finish them off, and they have no chance to fire back at you. Whereas if you did something like Incinerate Overload, they probably could recover from that the stagger animation, because you overlapped one stagger animation with the other, and you didn't spread your stagger animation to allow you to do maximum damage while they're staggered, pretty much. That's basically what I do. Oh, the Sentinel. I've not played this character for a long time. I am using the Yuxia, but I do like, so, why I like Yuxia on characters that have low cooldowns that are able to detonate combos by themselves. So like the Sentinel classes, Energy Drain, you can spec it for really recharged heavy specs that give it shields, and tanky with tech armor, and you got throw that's fairly low cooldown as well. What this means is, for long range, you can snipe them when they go through their stages of stun. So I call these 3 stages of the stun animation. When you first hit them with the stun animation, they're kind of like jerked outwards. They're like frozen, jerking outwards. Then they kneel, and then obviously they return to their normal standing position. You got 3 shots with the Yuxia, that's perfect, and 2 shots will mostly kill them anyways, so that's why I like the Yuxia on any classes. that can do their own detonations fairly frequently. Probably will use the Yusha here, I guess. Even though I'm using the Yusha for the Sentinel. I'm using the paw for the human kineticist, so don't even bother with putting the paw there. That's going to have to overlap. Solarian Infiltrator. So I actually tried the one-shot sniper. I think I have the Ishray. Oh no, the down. I'm not going to use these two weapons. Did you have the Shock Trooper? So I'm still going to probably use the Shock Trooper, but now I'm going to spec. I'm going to try and find a way to spec into +2 grenade capacity, and that is because things got changed. So you proc your tactical synergy, which allows you to give +30% weapon damage on all powers now. So for sticky grenade, tactical cloak, energy drain, it got changed. So it's very good to use something like tac cloak and then sticky grenade to target and start firing with the weapon. I'd probably use a piranha or that kind of thing and get him really close. And the only thing I can do that is because I got energy drain, and if I do the extended drain, it'll probably save you a bit. Could probably take out rank 6 and act as a kind of like an assassinate thing. One thing I want to check is how's the weight recharge if I equip the piranha. Shouldn't be that bad if I just equip the piranha though. Shouldn't be that bad. Oh, oh, damn. Good thing sticky grenades aren't cooldown based. Otherwise, that would have hurt so much. Adapt, sorry, adapt. Equalizer, 100%. Equalizer, 100%. Playstyle revolves around getting close, using detonations, and I have, sorry, Annihilation, Spectral Vortex instead of Draining Fields, just to pick up all the red health mooks, even though shielded mooks. So what your detonation does is, you don't detonate on red health mooks, you just use the equalizer, and because the equalizer has infinite ammo, you kill them without having to go to ammo crates. Use your detonations to stagger armored targets, or to strip the shields of shielded targets so that they can get picked up from Vortex. And that's basically the playstyle I use for that. These two classes play the similar, and because they have two dot-based builds, and Flat Cannon's super good. And I'm just going to do the Turin Havoc Soldier first. So Krogan Mercenary, I think it was called. Yes. And then obviously Turin Havoc Trooper. So with the recent changes to enemy damage numbers, they deal more damage. So I actually don't like running the hover based build. The like hover, air evasion, air engagement, those hover, because with just 2 snipers or 2 anointeds or what's the other one? 2 observers, and if they're not close together where you can dispatch them quickly, you're gonna feel the damage even with all those damage resistance. Now, if you pick up the health upgrades, look at its health. Look at this guy's health and shields, man. Look how high it is. It's almost as high as the Krogan Mercenaries. Granted, the Krogan Mercenary has more, but he has a lot less shields than the Turin Havoc Soldier. And so, like, he almost has as much health as a Krogan. That's why I go for the health spec. And I use the Hash to complement stunning and dealing a lot of damage rapidly with the Flat Cannon. Also Incinerate for burn damage. The Krogan Mercenary is pretty much the same as playstyle. I use the Dun. No, I like the Dun on the Agent. Agent with Dun is so good. I don't think there's anything else that I'll probably use a Riga if the Riga did not screw up your FPS as hard. Riga, if it didn't screw FPS as hard. Oops. But yes, playstyles for them are pretty much the same. Stagger with Flat Cannon, burn damage, and then just fire away. Huntress, this is the class that I had the most difficult time finding a playstyle for. And you're gonna look at my weapon. Excuse me, sorry for that. And be like, why the hell are you using the Ishray? So Ishray with Stealth Grid allows you to do one-shot shielded mooks. Or you probably won't anymore with a shield gate, but it used to. And I like the Ishray because I like playing a support role with the hunters. So what you do is when you sniper target, ideally kill a target, because it forces you to reload, what you do in that time is you look at your teammates and go, have they primed anything for your throwing lance? Or are they in danger and you need to go stealth with them? So the Ishray forcing you to reload makes you look at the map while you reload, because obviously you can't reload while zoomed in and you have to zoom out to reload. So it just gives you more, well, it forces you to look at the map more. Unless you like looking at yourself when you reload, you know, some people might be into that. But yeah, I like that because it still allows me to pick off high value targets with stealth grid into the highest single target sniper rifle, and then forces you to reload because you obviously want to reload. Look at the map and use stealth grid as support. Use throwing lance as detonators if has been primed from your allies. That's the playstyle that I went for. I haven't tested out with the new shield gate mechanics and seen if it's still viable like that. So I can't say for certain if it's still viable, but that's the way I played it. Haven't tried it then. This guy, a lot of different ways. There's 2 different ways you can play him, and this is related to trap mine. So it relates to what you choose here. If you go for EMP, then you're pretty much just hunkering down. Well, not really hunkering down, but like covering your flanks with EMP, using them to stun targets. If you do it, what I did. This is a fun playstyle, by the way. If you get a weapon that can prime really fast, like the paw, and have decent capacity, to prime more than one target, this is just so fun for just detonating things. And you find a lot of times when this goes off, and there's a canister as well, this detonates the canister as well, and you just have chain detonations. It's just so fun. And especially if you got like an Asari Added or another class that just primes a lot as well, you just find that you're just constantly setting detonations and you put these around randomly. You just detonate things randomly. It's just so fun, and you just kill things. It's just so fun. I'm not sure what kind of weapon I would choose, but it does obviously pertain to what you choose for trip mine on rank 6. If you're going for the detonator, you need a priming weapon. If you're going for EMP, which is the safer bet, then you're obviously going to want to go with a weapon that can take advantage of that. What weapons do I have not used yet? Talons. Hornet would be pretty good, to be honest. Yeah, Hornet's actually really good. Probably the Hornet. Hornet's really good. I think it has very good ammo capacity as well. Yeah, it has pretty decent max clip size. So yeah, I'd probably use the Hornet. Again, I am trying to just like spread out the weapons so I don't use the same weapon for every build. You know, just to keep things interesting for me as well. Solarian Architect. Now, I do think that for the Architect, the Remnant detonating missiles is better than Electric Beam because this also staggers. So that means the stun from this is not as valuable since that utility is lost basically because this still staggers it. So it still CCs. This only just means that this primes them, whereas this still does a fairly good chunk of damage. 450 is still good damage. Sorry, tried there. Oh my god. Excuse me. Hash. Probably wouldn't use a hash for that anymore, since you would. Oh yeah. Because I was also the reason why I use hash is because I use electric defense. Go in, slam electric defense, detonate with incinerate. Yeah, detonate with incinerate and combos. Then you know it was fun playstyle. What other weapons could I use? I want something that I can feel comfortable using at long and short range. I think the Talons would be pretty good with it. Valiant would also be decent as well. Valiant, I'm actually thinking of Valiant. No, the Falcon. The Falcon actually would be very good. Yes, the Falcon would be very good. Now, it does mean that if you're taking a non-priming weapon, the only reliable thing that you can actually detonate is Barricade, unless someone else is running a priming build. So you have to keep in mind if you want to run a priming weapon to maximize the amount of detonations you can get with detonating missiles on your Remnant. But I think Vulcan is a very good, well-rounded, all-rounded weapon. Turing Agent, there's no debating this for me. It's the Darn. The Darn's the only good weapon for this. Asari, Duelist. I am using the Scattershot. It's just so good. It's just really good for charge builds. Angara Avenger. I was using the Equalizer so that if you didn't know, if you run with, let me just quickly show you. If you run with this kind of upgrade, at least grenade capacity and just at least power cells, this actually syncs up your sticky grenades with stealth grid. If you actually look at capacity 4 and capacity 4, this means that if you Avenger Strike in with stealth grid, throw a sticky Equalizer, you can actually pretty much repeat that, and then you won't have any like leftover stealth grids or sticky grenades. So you can just go to ammo crates and refill your power cell abilities, and they'll both be at the same amount. So I'm using the Equalizer. Hornet for long range. I do like the Equalizer. I feel like Talon could actually be a very good choice as well. I might try the Talon because it does a lot of damage, and hopefully a sticker grenade will be able to kill it. That's the kind of playstyle I'll go for. Solarian Operator, Crusader. No questioning for me. It's just, if you want to know why, you're probably better off watching the Solarian Operator discussion build video that I did. It goes really in depth. It's just a really good weapon for the Solarian Operator. In my opinion, human kineticist. Poor. No contest here. Krogan Gladiator. I was using Dawn. I was using a Dawn. I think a Dawn's a very good weapon for this character. I am actually going to have to go with Dawn. It's still pretty good, because you can one-shot the shields if you get a headshot, which means you can pull them, and it's just really good for that utility. Like, because it has the extra weak point multiplier, it means if you get the critical spot with the shot and the shield's gone, and then you can pull them. So yeah, that's it really. I think the Shadow with a elemental weapon is just super good for the running exemplar. Don't know if we have. I'm guessing I'll take out Shadow here, and I'm trying not to like overlap weapons. So I know we got 2 scatter shots. You can finish this vid, guys. I've done theory crafting different weapons for each class. For now, I'm just gonna like make sure. I just really don't want duplicates because I want to do a different weapon kind of for each build. I know we got Scatter Shot, and I know we got Yushia because we got Yushi here. We got Scatter Shot down somewhere for the Duelist. I think that's really it for. No, we got Dawn. Ah, crap, nuggets. So yeah, 3 weapons overlap. Not bad. I'm trying to find a spot for a weapon for each build. I could use a sign. I don't like. Again, I do not like this sign. So what I could use is replace one of the Dharm builds with a Hesh, and then use a sign for the Turin Havoc Trooper. I just really like. I guess I could try it. We could try it actually. We could try it. I guess you would have to use the Hesh because I really like the Turin Agent with the Dharm. It's just okay. The reason why I like the Turin Agent with the Dharm is because okay, let's go through here. These are the 4 mods. You don't need this spec clip, and this means you can reach 100% penetration through solid objects because your attack visor gives 50%, here gives 58%, so you can reach 100% damage through walls with attack visor. That's the reason why I like the Dart. Also, I'm pretty sure its ammo is pretty plentiful as well, so you don't need to constantly go for it. It's 31 out of 3, so you got 10 reloads. It's pretty good. Any shotguns that I haven't made use of that are still pretty good? Piranha, Scattershot, no. Disciple already made use of. Venom, no, I'm not going to use the Venom for anything. Okay, so what weapon are we at here? Okay, we're going to probably have to run with double Scattershot, unfortunately. But the playstyles of the Vanguard for Human Vanguard and the Duelist are different anyway, so that should be fine. Yushia, so a high-powered single shot to take advantage of the stun animations from the energy draining to throw combos. So anything that can deal a very good large amount of damage at long range while still retaining usefulness at short range. Valiant? Have I used the Valiant for any of the classes? I think I have, haven't I? No, I have not. Could actually replace it with a Valiant. Depends on how far the zoom in is for the Valiant. Too bad there's no iron sight mods. I still think Yushi's still the better choice, to be honest. Sidewinder? No. We can try. So, Valiant. So this is the one to test. Let me just bold this. Test. And there was another one. Test. So how good these two builds are. And I think we got rid of one of the Duns and replaced it with the Hesh. So the Scattershot will be alright. So those are two videos that I'll test out how good those playstyles are. Because I really want builds that utilize a wide spectrum of weapons instead of just using the best weapons of each. And still be good at gold. So yeah, this is my tier list. And this is my weapon to try and like spread out the weapons for each class. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the content. See you guys next time. See ya.